Virgo, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. Grab a coffee, grab a tea, grab a beverage, kick back and relax. Welcome in. I hope that you're doing well today. It's been a little interesting in the energy lately. We're about to head into a full moon in Libra. Libra highlights partnerships, relationship dynamics. We also have Venus in retrograde, which does a very similar thing. You know, kind of just places where there are disconnects happening, places in dynamics where we really have to readjust, rework how things are playing out, or if there's straight up block, resistance, obstacle after obstacle, then adjustment or changes need to be made, right? It's not an easy process because we don't really have a lot to work with as we are pursuing these things, meaning Spirit's not necessarily bringing in new opportunities, new people, so that we can sweep the past under the rug. We're actually being forced to deal with it, i.e. Uranus in Taurus. And there's this cluster of planets in Pisces that's making it really emotional. Saturn is in that cluster. It is the taskmaster. It's what forces us to do the work. And it's heightening a lot of emotions around it. We still have a lot of water energy in the astrology. It's been vacillating back and forth between water and fire, basically meaning that emotions, feelings are definitely getting triggered. But then that fire energy is bringing in the anger, the aggression, the frustration. And so if we're not grounded, if we're not aligned within self right now, it can lead to some messy situations. That's why I like to start these readings off with an energy cleansing, just kind of set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out some of those blocks, obstacles that we might be coming into. It's a really good time to set your own intention as well, Virgo, especially if you've come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It's a great way to personalize these collective readings. And I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are one of them if you want me to look at your specific situation, how things are faring, where they're headed, or if you're just looking for that rebalancing of self-alignment with mind, body, soul. I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. Like I mentioned, when we're in that space of alignment, when we feel good about ourselves, when we have awareness, we're more apt to make decisions that bring us happiness and fulfillment instead of getting us into these dynamics that we really don't want to be in. And that really is the name of the game, is being able to kind of sift through that right now. So if you're interested in my services, I would be honored to help, to support, to love in whatever way possible. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, Virgo, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love, Mama Love. Amen. All right, Virgo. So energy's been a little bit back and forth, kind of intense in some areas. A lot of it, though, like I said, is things of the past. It's like stuff that we know what we're dealing with, or been there, done that already. Past people, past situations rearing their beautiful faces, reminding us of the tension, of the struggle. It can be overwhelming, but I want to assure you there is positive support. There are good things that are happening. We just have to make sure in this time that we're not letting the badness or the things that really are just feeling unfair or inappropriate, we can't let that cloud our judgment. You know, there is always good and bad. That's why I really like this everydayness. And we kind of just have to vacillate. Like, fire energy really provokes that need to defend oneself, right? So like maybe even get in someone's face. It can just be very, very assertive. And I feel like this is a lot about, not that you're necessarily an aggressive sign, Virgo. I mean, you could have some fire in your chart. Everyone, it's going to be a little bit different. Obviously, with the way the energy is coming out, you're not the aggressor in this dynamic, in this situation. But it's still, you know, I feel like there still are some things that are putting some fire in your belly. Things that are asking you to pay a little bit more attention to, or things that maybe you do need to kind of enliven within yourself. Like, not be afraid to speak your truth, stand up for yourself, say what you need to say, even if like no one wants to pay attention, or you know, no one wants to hear what you have to say. I feel like there is just a lot of things that are sorting itself out in your life right now. And I do see that some of this is involving a reevaluation of self. Reevaluation in the way that we do need to understand what is worth our time, what's worth our energy, and what is needed to release and let go. We can't dictate when people suck or are assholes, and we kind of have to know what we want to, not even just come up against, but what we want to address and what just needs to fall by the wayside. It can be exhausting, right? It can be overwhelming, but some of that is coming through because I am hearing like a little bit of a obsession or fixation. Maybe you fixate on certain people, certain things that happen, and it just plays over and over and over again in your head, and it kind of ends up playing out in this dynamic of silent treatment and a lot of fire, right? Like, I'm going to ignore this and then I'm going to explode. And what I'm seeing is there's a need to kind of find a little bit more balance, or that's what you're discovering about how things are moving lately. I feel like there's a call. Yeah, 100%. This is your card. This is your energy, the Hermit. I was going to say there's a call to just take care of yourself, rest, restore, nurture, really invest, finding some balance, finding some grounding. And even if people, situations are attacking you right now, you don't have to respond. And if anything, you kind of do really well at the silent treatment. I'm not throwing shade by saying that. I'm not even judging it, just so you know, right? Like, we all have our ways of coping when people come after us. And there is this value of, and you know this, like, you don't want to be operating out of this fire. Something is provoking it, and it feels annoying. It feels overwhelming. It feels unfair is what I want to say. Like, I'm hearing that you almost feel like, why are you coming after me? Like, why are you projecting your stuff onto me? At the same time, it looks like someone or something is very overwhelmed. They have their plate full. To the best of their ability, they're trying is what it's showing, to the best of their ability. It probably doesn't look like how you want it to look, however, right? And I feel like that's where you're kind of going back within. What I like about the Hermit energy for you is it's forcing you to listen to yourself instead of taking opinions from people around you. It's like, well, how do I feel about this? How am I seeing this? And I do, like, there's this part of you that's starting to understand that maybe this person, situation, individual just like doesn't have it in them, is what I'm seeing. You know, maybe what they can bring to the table, what they can give is not necessarily what you need. And that's part of how or why you're going back to the drawing board. There are things that are coming out that do need to be dealt with is what I'm seeing. Like, and I know I've kind of already said that, but these are conversations, these are things that are getting said that if they don't get addressed, then it is going to become a slippier slope. And not as much for you, but I see this more with whomever, whatever you're dealing with, because they're holding a lot of stress. Maybe you did kind of have an explosive fight. Yeah, 100% conflict. And it looks like this person is not backing down, right? And I'm also seeing like a mirroring type energy where, I don't know, I would encourage you this week to be really mindful about how you step. If you feel yourself starting to get pumped up, or if you feel like someone is trying to rope you into an argument, into a fight, maybe it's time to take a step back. Because what it looks like is this person only has so much to give. And what they're able to give is actually very limited. It's actually very small. They fixate on you a lot, right? They point the finger, they blame you as the reasons, but it's not really showing that you are. Honestly, it's showing that there's a disconnect. It's showing that you're doing your best to try to meet this person halfway, but you're not feeling like you're getting that in return. Or there's something about this where they're letting other things distract them, overtake them, overwhelm them. This looks like obligations, responsibility, business, things that it might be a little bit of excuses. It feels a little bit like excuses. But I also feel like some of this is mismanagement of time, it shows that they're trying to build something right now. And as much as maybe you're not seeing that, when these conversations arise, when you're having difficulties, or when you want to talk about something, it overwhelms them. It stresses them out because they're trying to make something happen. And it looks like the way they're seeing it and the way you're seeing it are two different perspectives. Like they're like, let's do A, B, and C. And you're like, well, I was thinking we should do D, E, and F. It's a different approach. And maybe there can be a way to find harmony. I don't know, because I feel like this is just really highlighting, pointing out the places where sometimes things are good and sometimes they're not so good. It doesn't mean that it's like toxic or the worst thing for you ever. I do see some toxic dynamics that do need to be addressed. And this feels a lot like repressing emotions, feelings, so that things end up exploding. And that's where Spirit's asking you to take care of yourself, find a little bit more balance so you're not necessarily engaging in that energy, because that's not really where you want to be. That's not where you want to be. And honestly, when we invest our energy in that, it actually just depletes. It takes away. It subtracts. And when you're dealing with people, situations that are really combative or that refuse to agree, refuse to see it from your end, there's only so much you can do, right? Sometimes, having a conversation, I don't know. And this is kind of what this dynamic is. Having a conversation is going to be a little bit tricky because neither party wants to see the other person's side, or neither party is waving the white flag of compromise. Not just surrender, but compromise. How can we work together? And that's definitely something that's not being addressed. It does, like I said, it does kind of feel like a lot of passive aggressive behavior. And you know this, and I do see that you're really trying to find different solutions given the dynamic, given the situation, given how this person is operating. 100%. Partnerships are hugely in focus right now. Libra energy. We have that full moon in Libra. And so if we want partnership, then we have to know how to work together. It's just the name of the game. No one's going to get all that they want, you know what I mean? There's always going to be this need to give a little bit in order to get a little bit. One of my really close friends says the best thing, relationships are like a bank account. You got to make a deposit in order to make a withdrawal. And it's so true, right? And we forget that. We forget that because we have our own stuff going on. We want people to understand, validate. And that's exactly what this situation over here looks like. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I have a lot going on. Please just give me some flexibility. Stop harping on me. Stop, And maybe you kind of have pulled back a little bit, Virgo, but you're still not seeing the results that you want. want, and hence maybe why you keep readdressing it. We're also getting this Uranus energy, like I talked about in the very beginning. Uranus is in Taurus right now. So we have to find inventive solutions to deal with our problems and issues. And if we're not, then again, it's just going to continue in the same downward spiral. And you don't want that, but in order to not have that happen, there needs to be reflection on both sides. And sometimes, Virgo, you just got to be the bigger person, right? Like what the Hermit energy does is it gives us wisdom. It helps us listen to what that still small voice within, what we think would be highest and best, not what our anger, our aggression is telling us, but that value of like, okay, maybe I just need to say like, hey, you're doing a great job. I'm really appreciative of all the work you're putting behind this. This is what I need. Is there a way we can make this happen, right? That's a totally different conversation than saying like, F you. Well, I'll just leave it at that, right? Because that's how all fights go. No. So reflect. You are in that mode of reflection, and I'm confident you're going to come to a solution. But it's going to take a minute in this dynamic is what I'm seeing. It's not all going to be fine, well and good after one happy conversation. It's not working that way because there is a lot of back and forth, silent interaction, ghosting, kind of all in each other's business. And that's what needs to be evened out, balanced out. Finding ways to navigate the day-to-day without having the high highs and the low lows. So a little heavy. This is kind of how all the zodiac readings have been this week. But I hope that you found messages that resonated here. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you could resonate with the messages that came through. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I love to hear, or just say, hey, share in a little love, a little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support that you bring to the channel. Know that I'm sending it back your way.